Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, we're going to be doing a deck profile of one of my most favorite decks of all time. And as you can see by the playmat, we are doing a deck profile on my 6 Samurai deck. Yes, 6 Samurai, or 6 Spamurai, Spam Swarm. They have many different nicknames. 6 Spamurai is my favorite of all time, though. But 6 Samurais are my second favorite deck of all time, guys, if you didn't know. My number 1 is GK's, my number 2 is 6 Samurai. The reason for that is I love history, I love ancient history. Even recently, over the summer, I've been revisiting stuff and it's been a while since college, since I've looked into it, but I've been going back and studying the Genpei Wars, the Boshin Wars, and the Senjoku Jidai. Just going over, you know, the history of the samurai, pretty much, and just the culture and over, you know, all the centuries. So I love, you know, that culture, Bushido, all that stuff. It's just really cool. I find it interesting. But yeah, guys, I've been really wanting to do this deck profile, so got the playmat out, updated the deck. I've been play testing it over the last month or so. It has changed up a little bit. There are different ways to play 6 Samurai I've found throughout the years. You have the builds that are centric focused OTK, FTK builds where that's all they do. They are glass cannony and they just try to put as much damage on board, either using link plays, spamming the board, bunch of attack, and they can easily be stopped by hand traps, I have found throughout the years. I like to focus on a centric build where it can do that. It can go for an OTK, it can go for an FTK, but that's not all it can do. It can also play a little bit with my playing style of control to some degree. Not a lot, but you know, because that's not what 6 Samurais do efficiently, but it can do a little bit. So if you get a hand that's not an OTK hand or something where you can go off with a bunch of combos, you at least can build a board to some extent. So that's why I like this deck to some degree in this version of the deck. So like I said, everybody plays their 6 Samurai deck a little bit differently, but this is what I've been playing with and it's been working well for me. So first off, we have our heart and soul of the deck, my favorite 6 Samurai, and that is legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. Note, I have been hoping that one day, he will, if they ever do like another legendary collection of some sort, he will get a secret rare print. Like the nice secret rare print we see in the Megatins. I've been dreaming of that, but these are my original ones that I got back in the day from Storm of Ragnarok. I've had these for years. But 3 Kizan, the OG, love him to death. Awesome card, awesome artwork. Definitely my favorite. He is far and away, you're one of the most combo-centric 6 Samurai monsters. He's pretty much Cyber Dragon. Next we have 3 Kageki. Kageki is one of those cards that I have a quote-unquote love-hate relationship with. And you may ask yourself, why is that, Seto? Why do you have a love-hate relationship with Kageki? It's because he can get negated. And you do not want to have your Kageki negated. Not a fun time. I'm just saying that straight up. Because back in the day when this deck was really meta with the legendary 6 Samurai. I mean, yes, they were good back when in the GX era when I played them initially and revisit them later on. But you would go Kageki and then you get Effect Veilered. And then you cry. You cry a river like Justin Timberlake. You just cry a river because there's nothing you can do. So that still happens with Infinite Impermanence and sometimes other cards. But it's such a good card for what it needs to do and for going into the link play that I feel like the pros outweigh the cons. Because there's other things you can do nowadays. We also run double Shinada and his lover, quote unquote, Mihoza. I can never pronounce these two names properly, forgive me. But I call it Red and Blue. These two work together. There's a story behind them if you guys don't know the legendary 6 Samurai lore. But pretty much what you're going to be doing with Mizuho and Shina is like I said, forgive me for mispronouncing the names, is they can special summon the other one out if you have in hand. They're very easy to get to because they're both searchable through your Smoke Signal, which is awesome. So she and Smoke Signal is going to be able to search them out in your deck to search out the other one. But it's really awesome because these cards are going to help facilitate into your link play, which we got about a year ago, which is Battle Shogun of the Six Samurai. Easy way to set this up. They also can be used for other link plays. If you're trying to go for a couple level 7s synchro plays, they also can help with that if you want to take the deck more in that direction. But really versatile cards in this deck overall. We also run one Kizaru. One Kizaru or two Kizaru. You can run either or. People don't like running two because they feel it bricks. It's kind of like a Garnet of the deck. You need another card to precipitate what it's doing. But because nowadays we're running 3 Kageki, and because in addition to that you are running 3 Dojo now because of the way you're able to push things out on the board, I find that 2 Kizaru is okay. But that's up to you to decide if you want to do it. That's something that I let you decide. I always go back between 1 and 2. Right now I'm back to 1 of because of this build of the deck. Next time you see a deck profile, it may be at 2 of because it kind of flip-flops back and forth. But it just depends on what ratio of cards you're running and what you're trying to do with the deck. But great card, staple card in the deck nonetheless though. We also run one Fuma. Remember when we had Diagram and we used to do crazy things with Fuma? Those were the days. One Fuma is good. It's going to help facilitate different things in your deck going for your synchro plays. I also run one Monkey, or Shien's Squire, Shien's Dog, I guess you could say. Shien's Monkey, I like calling it. Because it's just really good. This is going to help you go for Beast Barkion. It does give you some battle protection as a hand trap-esque card, so don't forget that if you draw it. It's not just made for Beast Barkion. People kind of underestimate that sometimes. They're like, oh, I'm going to run you over. I'm like, ha, that's funny. And they're like, oh, that does that? I'm like, yeah, it does that. And Fuma is awesome because it's going to help you search things, but it's also going to help you go for synchro plays. So these are your 2 main tuners for the deck. Super easy to get onto the field. Depending upon what type of deck you're going against, Beast Barkion will put in work for you and win you games straight up, even in 2021. Sky Strikers is back to some degree as a tier 2 type of deck. You know, very powerful. People playtesting it out a lot recently. You go into Beast Barkion and they're just gonna they're gonna stare at you and go, really, really? And I'll be like, yeah, really, really. So I'm just saying. Next we have one secret Hatsume. Love the artwork of this card. We also run one Legendary Six Samurai. Legendary Secret of the Six Samurai, which is a good card. This needs an upgrade as a common. And then also one Grandmaster of the Six Samurai. So these are what we run here. One Grandmaster, pretty straightforward, pretty good card. Definitely a staple in this version of the deck. We also won one Legendary of the Six Samurai. Like I said, this is good. And this is going to help you get things back that are banished, which is awesome because sometimes you will banish things. So that's good for that there. We also run some hand traps, and this is where some people run them, some people don't. Some people run hand traps in their Six Samurai deck, some people do not. It is up to player preference, I find, at the end of the day. It depends how you're trying to build the deck. While this deck is more predicated on... It can go first or second, I have to admit that to you, because some Six Samurai builds, I find, and you would think, with Six Samurai being an OTK-oriented deck, that they are a going second deck straight up, which that's what they're mainly meant to do because they're supposed to put a lot of pressure on the board and do a lot of damage to you quickly. But they're also going first because they can go for things like Shien, things like Beast Barkion, things of this nature. So in that terminology, to set that board up, that's a going first play, right? And that's where the side deck, and this is one of the reasons I really love this deck, is because I don't have a side deck built for you, but what I've done throughout the history of playing this deck is when you're taking it to tournaments, etc., is you can easily side things in and out of this deck, depending upon if you want to go first or second. It's amazing. Because I could take this out, I could put 3 infinite impermanents in, and then I could be like, okay, I'm going first, I'm going to run 3 infinite impermanents instead. This is a great going second card because that's what I'm trying to focus on a little bit more. But say I was trying to make this deck going first, okay, maybe I replace this with infinite impermanents. Maybe I replace this because if I'm going second with Lightning Storm, because I know I'm going second. Maybe I take certain cards out and run Lightning Storms. That's the beauty of this deck. It can side out tech options very easily. So, I like the 3 Ash Blossom. You can run something else if you want to go for more OTK-esque stuff. Maybe you run more cards to predicate that. I just like Ash Blossom because I want to negate my opponent's stuff. Infinite Impermanence is a card I was thinking about running, but I decided to run and put Isolde back into the deck, so I needed to make space for that. Next we run 3 Shein Smoke Signal. Smoke Signal is really good. In addition to that, we run the 1 obligatory Reinforcement of the Army because it's Rhoda, it's a warrior deck. Like, why would you not run Rhoda? But Shein Smoke Signal, staple 3 of, and 1 Rhoda. This is going to search out all your different engines of the deck, make the deck consistent, etc. Awesome. Next we run 3 Shein's Dojo. I have always said, I said this years ago, when Gateway came back, because before Gateway got banned, I was playing with triple and double Dojo, even though a lot of people weren't playing it. And I firmly believe, I said, when it comes back, it will come back in a later date. It's going to be a staple 3 of the deck. And that's what it seems that a lot of players are doing, and that's what I agree with. Because Shein's Dojo is just that good of a card for what it's trying to do. Because what you're trying to accomplish is you're trying to swarm the board. Now, granted, Shein's Dojo, if you've already gone off, it's a dead card. It's really dead. But you draw maybe double Dojo and then some ways to bring things out into the field with the consistency of this deck. You're putting yourself into a good position of winning. So you have your pros and cons. It's a double-edged sword. Ha! So yeah, there you go. There's your joke of the day. We run 3 United. I see people run double New United, and I scratch my head so hard because this is literally Pot of Greed times however many you draw, which is always been broken in Six Samurai terms. And I think people look at it the same way of Dojo is, if you've already built your board, United's dead. Well, that is true, but it also means you can reestablish your board because you're drawn to more cards. That's just what my thing is, because that's happened to me. I've been out, they've broken my board, I have United on the field, maybe with 1 Bushido counter, I bring out another 6 Samurai, I draw 2 cards, and I go off again. So, I'm just saying, that's happened a lot over time. So, 3 6 Samurai United. You can run 2 if you want to. I don't understand it fully. I do understand what your thinking process is, but I don't thoroughly agree with it, is what I'm trying to say. But that's up to you to decide how you want to run it. You run it. But I like 3 of that. Tempo of the 6, I run double Tempo of the 6 and 1 Terraforming. And I initially, when I first deck profiled this, I said to you guys, I am not understanding Tempo of the 6 really. It may come out in the future. And now I'm coming back to tell you on this update, I'm not taking it out. Why is that? Because it helps stack your Bushido counters really good with Shogun. You get Shogun, you get Gateway out. My gosh, like, you're going to town, man. Like, battle Shogun with this, and then your Gateway out. Like, woo, woo. It just, this thing stacks Bushido counters like crazy. It's amazing. So, and it also lowers your opponent's attack, so worrying about having to be run over by, your Shein or card being X run over, not so much. So it's really nice. I love this card as a 2 of. I do not agree with 3 of though, but as a 2 and 1 Terraforming, I'm okay with. Definitely a good card because it helps stack Bushido counters. Happy I got super rares. Thank you to my buddy to selling those to me for like 50 cents a couple of years ago. 1 Gateway. My OG Star Strike, my OG super rare actually. Can this come back to 3 of Konami? Can this come back to 3 of, like, next ban list maybe? I'm going to keep saying it until it happens. I'm going to speak what I want. I want Gateway at 3. Some of you are going no, and I'm going yes. But 1 Gateway. You guys know how broken this card is. I don't think I need to say more about it. 1 DDR, 1 Divine Phoenix Blade, 1 Living Fossil. These are targets for your Isolde play in your deck. Now, some people like running a little bit more when it comes to Isolde and running your equipped spell cards. One thing I will mention with Isolde, one thing I used to run with Isolde when it initially came out, is I ran the Bamboo engine. So like I ran like Broken Bamboo Sword, 3 Cursed, 3 Golden. Nice draw engine to have, but it did brick a little bit. But you can go down that route if you want to focus more on Isolde plays, but that's up to you. For me, I just like it as a 3 of because you can either go for different variations of your 6 Samurai depending upon what you want to do. We also run 1 World Legacy Succession. This is a staple obligatory 1-of in this deck nowadays. I firmly believe it. 2 is, you can run it as a 2-of as well, but it does take setup to make this card good. It's not a turn 1 type of play usually. Sometimes it is, but like you have to be doing things. So it's not a good starter card. It's a card extender. 1 Call by the Grave, good 1-of, 1 Upstart Goblin, or I'll try to pronounce this for you guys who love my pronunciation. Impolkormanielin Goblin. I think it's German. Thank you to my buddy who is from Germany who sent this to me, who is a subscriber. I can't pronounce it. But 1 Upstart Goblin. I'm not going to try it again. 1 Monster Reborn as well. Extender, helps build combos, etc. Draw power, make it a 39 card deck. I don't mind giving you 1,000 life points. I get to draw cards I need. And 1 Call by the Grave. I don't want you to negate my combos. If Cross Out ever comes out, whenever it comes out, you can run that too. Extra deck. Yes, that is an Ultimate Rare 6 Samurai Shiin. This is the OG one that I played from Storm of Ragnarok back in the day when I topped with this deck and got this play mat all those years ago. Second Shiin, Secret Rare. I have the Ultimate Rare, but I like the Secret. 1 Naturia's Beast, aka Shiin's Dog. That's what we've always called it if you're an old school player. This is Shiin's Dog because they go hand in hand with each other. 1 Secret of the 6 Samurai Rian. I still like this card. It's nice as a 1-of. It's a little bit better than the freaking Exceed, but you run it because it's okay. 1 Levinier the Sea Dragon. This is to help get your banished stuff back. 1 number 60 Dragulus the Timeless. 1 Shadow Sword of the 6 Samurai Shiin. You run this card not so much for its effect, but for its name. So say you have 6 Samurai United, or a Dojo, you're trying to do some different combo plays, etc., Gateway. This is going to count as a name, so that's where we run it. We also run 2 6 Samurai Battle Shogun, staple 2-of. Your 1 Isolde of the 2 Tales of the Noble Knights. Your 1 IP Masquerena, your 1 Nightmare Unicorn, your 1 Blackluster Soldier of Chaos. You run, if you have this card, run it. It's amazing in this deck. Just saying. 1 Sauja Skuldred, and also lastly your 1 Axis Code Talker, which you can go in for the deck. So usually, depending upon what you're trying to do, you're either going to go for Sauja Skuldred if you're trying to OTK, Axis Code Talker, you're going second, you're trying to break a board. That's why I said in this deck, I've built this deck with the predication in mind of being able to OTK, but not being glass cannon-y enough where it's going to just fall apart if you don't get that off, right? You can break a board if you're going second. So I'm trying to think and use all my skills as a 6 Samurai player, all right? But yeah, guys, I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. The one thing I do want to mention is there are other cards you can run in this deck that I would like to just talk about briefly. Maybe some of these cards are a little bit too expensive. Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus. You can run these cards. Phoenix, especially if you go against back row decks. Cerberus, if you feel like your big monsters are not being able to run over things enough. Tornado Dragon is another option as a level 4 to get rid of back row if you feel like you're facing a lot more back row. And then lastly, you have your Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Yes, I know it's an expensive card, but if you're running more of an Exceed variation, you could run this. In addition to these, you can run other level 7 Synchro monsters, your Black Rose Dragon, your FA Darn Dragster. There's a lot of other cards out that you could run, but like I said, I didn't want to focus too much on Synchros, but I did run, the basic ones over here. So, hope you guys all enjoyed this deck profile. Till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see all of you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe to this channel, guys, for more awesome content. We're going to be doing some really awesome deck profiles. I get some more coming up soon, guys. We did a couple of the Egyptian God deck profiles a couple of weeks ago. I do have some awesome stuff that I'm working on from the 5Ds era. Scraps, as well as Black Rose Dragon is going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, probably the next week or so. So I have other decks in the work I'm working on for you guys. But till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I'll see all of you guys next time. And remember to believe in the heart of the cards, like Bushido. Hey! Take care, everybody.